Mike Trout, of course, the big story around this area and around much of baseball. I think he had some interesting stats about. I know he's played in 97% of the Angel games since his first full year in the majors, and he's having a MVP year. This is his best year. He's having a definite MVP year this year, and he's might have had a shot at the Triple Crown. John, you had some interesting stats on the WAR. That Vince is into.
I don't know, Vince, you can comment on this too, but I think the best player in baseball is going on the DL. And,
exactly.
It's a situation that he is the heart and soul of the Angels. They all, feed off of him and his success. I got it to where, it's like you said, 97%. He's played in 157 games to 159 games every single year for those last 4 years. He's hitting .337 with 16 home runs and 36 RBIs. He's second in average in the American League. He's second in home runs and RBI, fourth in RBIs. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And I know, Vince, that you've talked more about this WAR statistic that they all talk about now. I don't know how long that analytical statistic has been going, but I went and looked at it today, and it's absolutely he's far above everybody else in Major League Baseball. I mean, I don't know how much of a big gap a 3.5 to a 2.9 is, but I mean, he was leading by landslides. If I look at those statistics, right. That he's going to be hard to replace. And
you can't replace him,
right? And you can't. You're absolutely right. You can't replace him. It just adds to the our continuous month to month of guys going on the DL that are starters, that guys that we need, and here we go. And I think there's another thing here. I think a lot of people in opposing ballparks come to go see him.
Yes.
And I think it's going to hurt a little bit of that too. And first time on the DL, and he's going to be gone for a couple months.
He's a definite draw. I mean, if you're in Minnesota or Chicago, why would you buy a ticket to see the Angels?
Right, exactly.
You might buy a ticket to see Mike Trout.
Yeah.
But you're not going to pay to see the Angels. I mean,
yeah.
So that
and it was his choice. He said, look, you could do either or. And he goes, I'd rather get this thing done right and do it the right way. But
742 slugging percentage.
Yeah.
And his slugging and his on-base percentage together are 1.203.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just insane.
His on-base plus slugging was it's
Insane.
astronomical. It's catastrophic. There's just no two ways about it. Depending on what wins above replacement you're looking at, right. Whether you're talking about team wins above replacement or how many games or runs that are created by that position, there's just no slicing it. You're 11 back. The Angels are 11 back, and Trout is gone for 6 to 8 weeks. And they're gonna continue to drop a game or so per week, and you can start. I mean, you can just start writing it off. I mean, at this point, it's all experimental. Throw who you want, bring up who you want. Skaggs, is that who's coming up?
No, the guy that started tonight is I don't even forget his something Bidwell.
I didn't even see who started
Parker
tonight.
Bidwell or somebody.
The player to be named later.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's a lot of things. I think we're still an offensive ball club, but and Simmons and Maben have been, they've been the two of like the top 5 hottest hitters in Major League Baseball as we speak since May 15th. They've really been producing.
Right. But
Cole Calhoun hitting like $152 in May. I mean, that's not gonna hang. I mean, we left 9 guys on base last night. It's just, you got to be able to take care of situations. And Meyer goes on the DL. I think we've got like 8 pitchers that since the start of the season have gone on the DL.
Yeah.
4 of those are starters. 4 of those are key relievers.
Yeah.
And I think a total of I don't know what the Dodgers are, but because they have depth in pitching, but I think we're at like 15 or 16 guys already from the beginning of the season that have been on the DL, and that's position players and pitchers. And I mean, it's almost like it's a repeat of last year. Yeah, I mean,
I think it's even worse. Like you say, the relief, Street and Bedrosian, probably your 1 and 2. That's probably your 9th inning guy and your 8th inning guy.
Yeah.
You haven't had them all. And then Valbuena, who's your cleanup hitter, is hitting what? A buck something?
Something like that.
He's a cleanup hitter.
Yeah. It's
not
good, And then and now Pujols had Trout in front of him, and now he's gonna.
Well, he'll get no pitches to see.
He's gonna struggle. And Escobar, I heard, is on his way back. He's running. He's taking infield. He's hitting. That's a matter of time. Now, what do you do? Maben's been playing great and hitting great in the one spot. Do you put him in the 2 spot, or do you put Simmons in the 2 spot and you put Calhoun down in the 8? There's a lot because you're going to put now Eric Young now, who's replacing Trout in the outfield, and by the way, he's had a hell of a spring. I'm not a spring, but a hell of a AAA. But it's AAA. He's hitting 350. He's got good slugging percentage. He's going to steal bases for us and keep him in that 9, so you have almost like a double eat off. So
I'd almost put Escobar 9.
You almost do. I mean, but Escobar is a good hitter, so you might want to put him in 2. But he's going to see a lot if Maben gets on board. You're probably going to see a lot of hit and run situations, but he's a free swinger.
Good contact.
He's a free swinger. He's a fastball guy. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But you're right, Vince. It's catastrophic. I
don't think there's any 2 ways to look at it. You gotta keep trudging along and you keep moving forward. And with the way that the Angels farm system, how poor it is, you can't turn to a guy and say, "Hey, we got Cody Bellinger who can come in and slug." 12 home runs in 32 games to fill in, or Chris Taylor, who really isn't a prospect per se. I mean, he had some chances in the big leagues, and he's just hitting out of his gourd, whereas Bellinger was a prospect and a farm hand who they brought along, and the Angels can't look to that, and it goes beyond that. It just goes beyond that as far as the lineup. Now there's just no length at all to that lineup. Now you have to stretch it out. Now there's big gaps in the lineup. Now there's guys that you can pitch around.
That's exactly right.
So the run production is going to go down. We will not be able to fully understand the repercussions of it for a while. I think the thing to keep in mind is that Bryce Harper had the same injury, the same surgery in 2014.
He did.
Took him 9 weeks. He was back in 9 weeks. So when everybody says 6 to 8, I guess the procedures and the therapy are better. Are they a week better than they were 2 years ago? I don't know. Right. Maybe. But I would say, Harper and Trout are probably pretty similar guys as far as coming back off of injury. I think you got to look at 9 weeks. I think you have to look at that, and where does that put you?
I don't think anybody throws at Trout, though, like they throw at Harper.
No. He's not going to take any in the back or the hip. Yeah. No, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, his overall, 36 walks leads the league, 121 total bases leads the league, but he does so much defensively out there as well. And like Vinny said, he's the guy that the team rallies around in the clubhouse. He's great in the clubhouse.
Yeah.
And an inspiration, and
Well, they rally about him. He'll stretch a single into a double. He'll steal a base for you. I mean, he builds that momentum, and guys get all pumped up about it and want to help him. And
exactly,
that's gone. So.
Just
Vince, you're absolutely right. We won't know until 2 months, but you're already 11 back. And
could be 30 games.
And the West
back.
And the West is horrendous, anyways. Other than the Astros, so I mean, the Astros. I mean, they can start bringing guys up and getting them prepped for the playoffs before the All-Star game. Yeah. So,
what's the earliest anybody's clinched a division?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Well, we might find out this year. Yeah, exactly. So
Secretariat.
Right.
Secretariat.
Moving like an incredible machine.
Yeah.
The Astros are looking tough. 36 wins to lead the majors.
Yeah.
That's why you look at over in the West, not to change the subject, but you've got 33, 32, 31 wins of the top 3 in the West in the National League.
Yeah.
And then I think there's one other team with 30 wins.
And they showed why they're leading. I mean, they're down 8-3 yesterday, and they roll off and score 11 in the 8th, and end up winning 16-8 and against Minnesota, I think it was.
Some ridiculous number where it was the first time, I think, in the history of baseball, or at least a long, long time, that a team has come back from down 5 runs to win by at least 5 runs or something ridiculous.
Ended up winning by 8.
Yeah, and
crazy.
What a swing.
Yeah.
And they didn't need any help. No. they did not need any help.
No.
They could have lapped the field with Trout in the Angels lineup. And,
Oh, yeah.
Now you just got to hope you get some of those pitchers back and you grind some out.
And if I'm the Angels, I just look at them and say, look, here, there's no hurry here. Just come back 100%. I know that your heart's going to tell you, like, they need me. Let's get in there. Don't make it worse. Just, if it's 9 weeks, it's 9 weeks. Just do it the right way. And I hope management kind of says, hey, look, you're gonna hold off.
Well, they got to make darn sure he's 100%.
If it's August, it's August. I mean, if it's got to be August, it's August.
I think July, I think it's July. They have a very, very mild schedule when it comes to. I think they have every Monday and every Thursday off in July.
That's right. I was hearing that. Don't they play something ridiculous like 63 games in 66 days, then they have every
there was like
Monday off.
It was something like they only had 4 days off in like 80. Yeah, in like they play 68 games or something.
I think
like
it's in July maybe that they play just one Monday night game.
Yeah.
So there's 5 Mondays apparently in July or August, one of those months.
It's July. I think it's July. Yeah, because in there they have the All-Star break too.
Right.
So that's July will help them. They can get to July fast enough, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So
exactly. So the name to remember for Angels fans is Dr. Steve Shin.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's the guy. Let's hope he's the hero.
Yeah.
Everything goes well, and it's a quick recovery for Trout.
And talking about players on the DL, this Garrett Richards thing is he just, why do they not just take him to surgery? I don't know what's going on there. Nobody's talking about anything.
He should have gone to surgery initially.
He should have.
You know, then he'd be back.
He wanted to spin his blood and do all that kind of stuff, but it's obviously, it's like you said last week, it's very quiet. Nobody's talking about it at all, which tells me just do it.
Every day in the paper, Bedrosian's been throwing this, doing this, Street's doing this at Salt Lake. Nothing about Garrett Richards.
So is he like getting platelet-rich plasma? Is that what he's been?
Well, that's what he was decided to do. Yeah, but
instead of Tommy John.
Instead of Tommy John, and Haney went with Tommy John, and I don't know where Haney is. I know it's 2018, but.
Well, he should have talked to the Dodgers. They've got more Tommy John surgeries in their rotation and in their pitching staff than probably in the waiting room at Curlin and Job.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is now if he does decide to have Tommy John, he'll be out to 2020.
Exactly. Right. You know?
And Haney will be back next year. Should be back next year, probably mid-year.
Yeah.
But he should be back next year.
There's clearly life after Tommy John surgery.